So last week you guys focused on dot plots with data and graphs. This week you guys are going to be focusing on a different type of graph. So last week you guys were able to understand that on a dot plot, your vote was represented by a dot, which was organized on a number line of some sorts. This week is going to be a little bit different, but if you pay attention to the little keys that I give you guys, it'll make it a lot easier. This week you guys are going to be focusing on stem and leaf plots. Now, looking at it, you're probably thinking, okay, that's very confusing, lots of random numbers. But if you focus on something down here at the bottom of the stem and leaf plot, it actually helps you understand what we're going to be focusing on. It is called the key. And the key is important because it tells you how to read and understand the stem and leaf plot. So based on our key down here at the bottom, it tells you that we're working with percentages. Okay, so this could be anything about grades. That's probably the easiest thing for you guys to understand is like grades or how much of the picture is colored. We're talking about percentages. So you're probably wondering, what is this line right here? That's not a 1. That line is represented by this T-chart. So when you see 5, that little T-chart line in a 6, 5, T-chart line 6, you would read it as 56%. So they're telling you that the stem, which is on the left side, is your tens place, and your leaf, which is on the right side, is your ones place. So you would read this as 56%, 67%, another 67%, 69%, 72%, 74%, 77%, another 77%, 78%. And you would just continue down. So there's different ways you can analyze a stem and leaf plot, but it all determines by that key down here at the bottom. So we could have percentages like this one. We can have whole numbers because our key down here at the bottom says that a 6 T-chart line 8 equals 68. So you would read this as 68, 75, 77, 79, 80, 82, 92, 96, another 96, 97. So not only can you have percentages, whole numbers, but you can also have decimals. So when you look down here at the key, it tells you that you no longer read it as 29, you read it as 2 and 9/10. So the stem, which is on the left side, is considered your ones place, and the leaf that's on the right is your tenths place. And it looks the same as the others, but our key tells us to read it differently. That's why the key is the first thing you need to look at. No matter what type of information they're wanting you to answer, you need to understand that the key is going to tell you how to read it. So you would read this as 2 and 9/10, because that's what the key tells me, 3 and 1/10, 4 and 0/10, 4 and 5/10, 5 and 2/10, 6 and 2/10, and you could continue down. Questions. So I'm going to be asking you guys some questions that are going to help you when answering your practice quick check questions that you have to do after this video. So if you would like to get some paper and a pencil, you may do that right now because there is going to be some math involved. So if you want to, go ahead and pause this right now, get yourself some paper and pencil, and then come back to the video. So our first question, we're going to be focusing on, our stem and leaf plot is going to be focusing on, just for this example, the year people were born. So the way you would read this is if you see the 6, the line, and the 8, you read it as 68. So somebody was born in the year 1968. Somebody was born in the year 1975. Somebody was born in the year 1977. Somebody was born in the year 1979. Somebody was born in the year 1980. Somebody was born in the year 1982. Someone was born in the year 1992. Someone was born in the year 1996, 1996, and 1997. So the key tells me to read it as 68, 75, 77, 79, 80, 82, 92, 96, 96, 97. So if each of those numbers that you see, 68, 75, if that is each an answer from somebody answered that they were born in the year 1968. Somebody answered that they were born in the year 1980. How many people took this survey? Remember, if 68 is one person's vote, and 75 is another person's vote, and 77 is another person's vote, how many people took this survey and answered this question? If you said 10 people, then you are correct. And the way we got 10 is that 68 is one answer, 75 is the second answer, 77 is the third, 79 is the fourth, 80 is the fifth, 82 is the sixth, 92 is the seventh, 96 is the eighth, 96 again is the ninth, and 97 is the 10th. So 10 people voted on this survey. Remember, guys, if you need more time to answer the question, you can pause the video between the question and answer. So this stem and leaf plot is percentages, and it's going to be focusing on grades on an assignment. So again, looking at the key is the first thing you need to do. So you need to understand that you're going to be reading it as a percentage, 56%, 56%, 67%, 67%, 69%. So each one of those numbers, 67, 78, 82, that is somebody's grade. So what is the difference between the highest and the lowest grade? So this is kind of like a two-part question when you're looking at the words. Not only do you need to understand the vocabulary of what does difference mean, but you need to know how to read the stem and leaf plot to find the highest and the lowest grade. So go ahead and point to what is the highest grade on the stem and leaf plot. If you said 94, then you are correct. Go ahead and find the lowest grade on this stem and leaf plot. And if you said 56, then you are correct. Now, difference. Do you guys know what operation means difference? Subtracting. Good job. So if you're going to take the 56, which is your lowest grade, and you're going to take the 94, which is the highest grade somebody got, and you're going to find the difference between them. And if you guys said that subtraction is difference, then you are going to subtract 56 from 94. So if you would like, go ahead and pause this video and subtract 56 from 94. So you're going to do 94 minus 56 and see what answer you come up with. If you came up with 38%, then you are correct. Subtracting 56 from 94 gives you a difference of 38. So not only is it important to know what difference means and knowing those keywords, but also knowing how to read a stem and leaf plot from highest, 94 being the highest, to lowest, 56. Okay, this one's going to be focusing on how many birds people saw. Okay, my key tells me that I'm going to read it as a whole number, 68. So that's 68, 75, 77, 79, 80, 82, 92, 96, 96, 97. This question is asking what is the total number of birds seen? So again, you're focusing on that keyword total. What operation does total mean? If you said addition, then you are correct. So if I wanted to know what the total number of birds someone saw, if I saw 68 birds, but Mrs. Anderson saw 75 birds, Mrs. Wise saw 77 birds, Mrs. Uresti saw 79 birds, Miss Amaya saw 80 birds, Miss Spillman saw 82 birds, Miss Witter saw 92, Miss Bailon saw 96, and Miss Martinez saw 96, and Miss Hernandez saw 97. If we all saw a different number of birds, go ahead and pause this if you need to. What was the total number of birds that we all saw? If you answered 842 birds, then you are correct. So total means you needed to add them all together, and each answer, 68, 75, 77, that was an answer that one of us answered. So you need to add all those numbers together to figure out what is the total number of birds seen. So when you see that word total, you have to add every single value that is expressed in your stem and leaf plot. Okay, this one's a little bit different. This one's we measured centimeters of a pencil. So found different pencils around the classroom and we measured the length of them in centimeters. And my key tells me that we're going to be focusing on a decimal. So when I see this line down here in the middle, that's going to be my decimal. So one of the pencils measured at 2 and 9 tenths. Another one measured at 3 and 1 tenth. One measured 4 and 0 tenths. Another measured 4 and 5 tenths. How many pencils measured at 9 and 2 tenths centimeters? If you answered 2 pencils, then you are correct. So every single pencil that we measured was a different length except 2 of our pencils, because one of them measured at 2 and 9 and 2 tenths, and another one also measured at 9 and 2 tenths, which is why there's 2 answers down here at the bottom. So there's going to be different ways that you guys are going to answer these questions when you go to your practice and your quick check. You're going to have to look for keywords like total and difference. You're going to have to maybe do a little bit of math. So make sure you have some paper with you when you're doing your quick check practice. That way you can do some math if you need to. Refer back to this video if you need some help. And go ahead and look at the videos below this slide and practice making your own stem and leaf plot based on women's soccer points and minutes, how many minutes they played. And then go ahead and do your practice and quick check. Come back to this slide if you need to.